Hey, this is Amy Grant, and what a treat for me to have hours now to speak with Khalil Ekulona. He was the host of This Is Nashville, and we're doing a podcast about
your new album, The Me That Remains, and it's beautiful. And the conversation is equally beautiful.
Thanks, my friend.
Thank you. The last song I'm going to talk about is the song The Saint. We talked about it a little bit when you appeared on This Is Nashville about sisters and a story that you heard. And I don't know how much time we have left, but break that down. Break down that song, how it came to you. As much of the tale of the sisters as we have time for you to tell.
Okay. I got to know a woman in the music business, and I'll leave names out, just a woman in the music business. She has 2 daughters. The woman has passed away, but she has 2 daughters. The older daughter became a nun, and the younger daughter, partway through her life, started struggling with addiction. And so years, I've watched this struggle. I know both sisters. I know the nun. I have spent more time talking with her. And one day, talking about her sister who had another relapse, she said, "Amy, sometimes I wonder if the addicts aren't the real saints." And when she said that, like, this is a woman of the cloth who's given her entire life in service to Christ. And for her to say that, so the next time everybody was in Nashville, because one sister lives here, one sister lives elsewhere, I said, "Have you 2 ever told each other your story?" And they said no. And I said, "Would you come to my house first thing, like, let's wait till after Christmas." And so this past January, and I said, "Come, you can come in your PJs. I'll make sure the house is empty." And they came early in the morning, and we sat and talked for hours and hours. I just felt like I got to witness their story, the beauty, the struggle, and I just kept thinking about what that older sister had said about her younger sister. Maybe the addicts are really the saints. And I don't know that I would have had the guts to say that myself, and then the morning after that, and they told their story, and to watch them see each other and to see the struggle, and once again I thought the first action of love is to see, not to fix, to see. And I woke up before dawn the next day, and I went and sat in that same room, and I thought, oh, I'm such a procrastinator. But while the feeling is still in this room, is there a story to tell from this? And I sat in that chair probably 4.5 hours. People would come and go. Our house is kind of a anthill. It's always coming and going. And I was just like, I can't move from here. And I texted immediately to the sisters. And the younger sister said, I feel the healing in this. And then when the record was finished, I invited both of them here. And then there was music, and I'd added the chorus. And I listened to that song, and we were all just holding each other. We were holding each other and crying.
Did the process of all this make you think of your sisters?
Uh-huh.
Do you feel like you know their stories and they know yours?
I don't think any of us knows another person's story. We know bits and pieces. And we know the things intentionally shared. But, I mean, if we all knew everybody's story, I've joked about this from stage, if we knew the person's story sitting right next to you, we would all walk into any room, arms wide open, saying, "Come on, bring it in, bring it in." It'd be an embrace and a pat on the back. Bring it in.
Yeah.
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 Does anybody see you? Does anybody care? How did this woman wind up on the made of lines on her face, stripped of everything, covered in grace. Is this the road to becoming a saint? Stripped of everything, covered in grace. Maybe the addicts are really the saints.
The cover art for this, you worked with Nashville-based multimedia artist Wayne Brezinka.
Yes.
And his work it's been in, I was looking it up, like New York Times, Washington Post, Los Angeles Times, and a lot of artwork for other musicians. But
Yes.
did something a little different. He's a mixed media artist. So there were personal belongings. We talked about the childhood Bible that was on there. Your grandmother's a quilt that was owned by your grandmother.
I collect quilts.
Seashells you collected as a kid, and a lot of different items. Talk about some of the items on this, because it's kind of like a time capsule of Amy Grant on this album cover.
Yes, I know. Meeting Wayne Brezinka was wonderful and fascinating. I'd seen some of his earlier work. I knew that he liked to put personal items, embedded within the work. Even if you couldn't see it, it would just create texture and he'd paint over it. And so I knew that we were going to spend a couple of days together. But I didn't, I figured his experience with every person he was going to paint or create or work for was different. And I know some he's done posthumously, but he was here during a recording session. And rather than order out food, I said, hey, will you come help me cook? So, first time we spent together, we were chopping vegetables and creating food. And he said, you love to cook? And I said, yes. And so he said, well, hey, give me a couple of your cooking utensils. And so I gave him a spatula that I had burned, and that wound up in there. But I don't know that. He's just like kind of collecting things. And I had to call a friend afterwards, and I said I was really... It required a lot of release from me. Mm-hmm. Like I showed him my shell collection. It still has my mom's handwriting, Amy's shells. And he said, can I have the cover of that with your mother's handwriting? And I said, no, you can't, because I thought I'd never see it again. He's going to paint over it. And he said, can I have some of the shells? And so like every different thing, he said, tell me what you've collected. How do you spend your time? And so hours, we were just kind of getting to know each other. But everything that I revealed to him about me, something that mattered, he would say, what will you give that to me? And so, that's a lot of surrender.
Yes.
And then, what takes up your time? What are you involved with? And, I had an older relative that had downsized their housing, and so they had portraits of my great-grandparents that, those were my oldest relatives. And my great-grandfather passed away when I was right before I turned 6, and my great-grandmother lived until my junior year in college, but I'm so affected by their lives. And so, he said, well, just tell me a little bit about it. And lo and behold, a newspaper article is about my great-grandparent. My great-grandfather is actually now on the cover of my record, and a photograph of them, a younger picture of my parents. He was here for 2 days. And like what he decided to include in that, like that, my childhood Bible actually got all torn up, and I had it in a large Ziploc.
Okay.
But I said, somebody's going to throw this away, but I've kept it. It's unreadable, but I've kept the pieces of it here. And I said, my name was inscribed in the front. I said, I know this is so crazy, but like my oldest sister's name was Gloria Kathleen. By the time they got to me, I was 7 days old by the time they named me. The doctor said, we're going to name her Gladys Pearl if you don't throw a name on this child. And but that was a long time to be alive without a name. So I always just, Amy Lee to me is just so, an edited version of whatever it could have been. And so for my 6th birthday, I was given this Bible, and I wanted a fancy name. So in my little six-year-old writing, I wrote the name that sounded beautiful and shiny to me, and I wrote Amy K. Lee Goldfish Lynn Grant.
Goldfish.
Shiny.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's funny because Wayne, he took that Bible. My kids will never know that story. Mm-hmm. He just asked. And he cut up the handwriting. And so at some point there's Lynn Grant and Amy K. Lee Goldfish. Like those two little things, that wouldn't mean anything to anybody.
Yeah.
But like even now as I'm telling you, I go, I guess I wanted like a stage name when I was little. And now it's on the cover of a record, and I'm 64. Nobody even knows what that means, but I remember the little me writing a name that was more beautiful than mine. And so, maybe the whole process is about being kind to yourself, welcoming yourself. Our parents love us and hurt us. And that's all a part of who we are. Every one of us, all 110 billion people that are a part of the story of mankind, the epic story of mankind. And every one of us is just a tiny blip on the scale. But every one of those blips has the power of choice and some circle of influence, even if it's just to yourself and the one person next to you. Anyway, Wayne, what a fantastic creative soul he is. And where there was an option, he said, do you want the front cover to be this shape or that shape? And he came up with all that magic.
Magic indeed.
Yes.
The album is titled The Me That Remains. The artist is the legendary Amy Grant. Amy, thank you for sitting and talk with me about your 21st studio album. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Coming out of the dark, coming out of this cave. It's taken me months of days and years to find my way. My face in the mirror doesn't look the same, but I recognize a light in my eyes that never did fade. And I'm gonna find and revive the me that remains. Life cut me wide open when my head hit the ground. It wasn't my time for dying, guess my soul just stuck around. And out of this wreckage I'm beginning to claim the gifts in the healing and the me that remains. Coming out of the dark, stepping into the day. It's taken me months of days and years finding my way. When I look in the mirror, so much has changed, but I recognize a light in my eyes that never did fade. And I'm gonna find and revive the me that remains. I barely can remember looking for a change. A whole lot of a little too much was always in my way. And whatever angels happened to draw my name hope they see how proud I am to be the me that remains. Coming out of the dark, coming out of this grave. It's taken me months of days and years, still finding my way. My smile in the mirror is enough for today, reflecting the light deep down inside that never will fade. And I'm gonna try, and oh,